Does it feel sometimes overwhelming? Do you feel that what you do for your business gets too much? I get this very often. Many business owners that come to me have this realization. I'm doing too much. It feels like I'm in automatic, that I don't have this strategic clarity where to go. And it feels that whatever I do is just part of this wheel, like hamsters in the wheel we are. And we don't feel business growth. We don't feel that we are reaching our business goals. And that's a problem. And it's a very common problem that I have seen.
That's why in today's video, we're going to have 3 important keys to stop being overwhelmed, to know when do you start feeling overwhelmed, what to do, and simple strategies to make your life easier, calmer, and way more meaningful to follow your business goals. So first, I think as business owners, it's not that we lack time. I think we lack strategy, we lack structure, we lack a system that works in a meaningful way. And sometimes we just create this mental load ourselves because first we say yes to many things, and second we do things because we believe it's going to help out our business. We say people need to know me, people need to know me, I need to have more followers, I need people to start this being brand awareness and this desperation for visibility. And in doing that we create ourselves a lot of load in our heads with many thoughts, and you have to do this, you have to do that, and you stop being strategic. So that's the problem.
It's not about lack of time.
You do have time if you organize yourself with purpose. It's about a structure. It's about understanding why do you need to do things, what for, and organize it accordingly. So I think, and it's not that it hasn't happened to me, of course, but one of my actually core skills, I think, is this strategic thinking when I feel that it's getting too much. So first of all, the problem is mental load, right? We need to be to have a system that ensures us our jobs are simpler, clearer, smoother in a way, and so we feel that what we do has a purpose and has an order. We need clarity.
That's the point.
And how do you do this? First of all, you need to know when you have to do this, when it starts feeling too much. In my case, it's my body that tells me. Simple as that. When I start feeling some kind of pain or some kind of stress, focused, or when I feel that I say no to the things I really like my dance classes, my yoga classes, meeting up with friends, doing the things that I love to do for my own mental health, to keep myself balanced and, regulated. And I start putting those things at last. So that's a very important indicator for me.
When I say, I don't have time to this, I don't have time to meet my friends, I don't have time. So meeting your friends and people you love is so important.
Having time for the lifestyle that you want is so important. Doing things just for the sake of joy is so important. And we forget that. We just start doing. And then, we wonder why these things hurts, our back and many things, right? It's like our body telling us, like, you need to stop. So that's the first thing, awareness. You are overwhelmed when things feel too much, when you feel the mental load of being in a massive
wheel and you don't get results from it. Maybe your sales don't work well, maybe your clients don't have good feedback, maybe you feel tired, extremely tired, maybe you have a lack of motivation, perhaps you don't feel like
you are, let's say, performing at your best. So that's the first thing. Awareness, where you are, and we need to fix it. We need to do something about it. So what I do is very simple, very often, and very important, is a habit. So that's a very important thing. It needs to work for you. You need to do it as a habit. So it's not simply like, okay, we are going to do this once per year. No, I do it once per year, super serious, in November. Every year I do my yearly planning. But it's not only one thing that you do in the year and you forget about it. It's like a plant. You need to actually water it very often. So I do this every 3 months. So every trimester I stop and say, okay, what have I done this trimester? Has it worked? Have I achieved what I wanted to achieve this trimester? Have I not? What was the goal? And then realign. It's like, okay, this has worked, this hasn't, and it's okay, we move on. Maybe we need to realign some objectives, maybe we need to create more value here, maybe we need to start saying no to many projects. That's important. So actually, when you feel that I post less stories on Instagram, for instance, or maybe I post less on LinkedIn, it's not that I don't care about my business. I deeply care every single day. But there are moments that I take to reflect, to look, to be strategic and say, okay, this is what I need to change. This is what has worked. This is what I really need to put my priorities on. And that's super important. A structure, habit structure, if you call it. You need to do this in a regular way. Just ask yourself what has worked and what hasn't, and create something meaningful out of this. Then, super important, you need to eliminate what doesn't work. I see this super often with business owners who are obsessed with content creation on social media. I have no problem with that per se if you really like it and you feel that that really connects with your business and creates sales for you. I know many people who are killing it on Instagram. They do great platforms, content, whatever, and they have this system that works very much. But for my type of business that is a bit more calm, relaxed, focused, and strategic into a very specific offer, not always. So actually, I do create content. I do my long format videos, which I repurpose, but I don't have any stress to create social media content, to be honest. I do it in a way that I know is meaningful for the people that follow me and the people who care for me and that I care for them, is this relationship. And so that doesn't create any stress. However, what I have seen with many business owners is this massive attention and massive amount of time dedicated to content creation, which doesn't generate any value for me. I think sometimes content creation per se is just an activity that doesn't create any value if you don't have a strategy, if you don't really focus on what you really want to say, which is why, sometimes it's important to realign and to do important things that really align with your business and with your message. So that's quite important. So first, define your priorities, define what really creates value for you. Second, create a structure that really works in a functional way. So you really need to focus on delivering an offer that really people connect with, that people can pay for, not necessarily content. And third, eliminate what doesn't work for you. So if you really make those assessments regularly and you find, okay, this works, this doesn't work, I need to focus on this, and you need to really evaluate if what you are doing on social media works. If it doesn't, move somewhere else, onto something that really connects with your heart, because we need you to be motivated. If you lose motivation, if you don't like what you do, if nothing really sparks joy in your business, then you have a problem. Because when you're not motivated, you're not willing to grow your business, and that's not what we want. We want you motivated, we want you clear with your strategy, where to go, what to do, and for that you need a mental space, right? You need to have these moments to relax, to think, to pause, to prioritize, first of all, yourself. That's not questionable. If you're not well, if you're with mental load, like extreme mental load and extreme exhaustion, no business strategy is going to work for you. So I think clarity reduces overwhelm. That's the message of today. But to get clarity, you really need to understand what is important to you, what creates value to you. Last tip, what I do is my system that some of my clients have applied, which is really nice. The system of hearts and stars. So a star is something, so after I do my to-do list every week, by the way, we do this every week in Business with Purpose, and the Mompreneur Society is an awesome meeting, which I recommend you all to do. So we do this conscious to-do list to understand what is exactly what we need to reduce mental load, and then we prioritize depending on what really matters. So what I do is I put star to things that are really core for my business and create value. I put hearts to things that I love to do because they spark my inspiration, my creativity, or any special thing that I like according to my business, of course. And I put hearts and stars together to things that create money, create value, value and that I love to do. And that's the first thing. Like that I always have this very important, let's say, assessment of things that I want to do for my business, because that's the core. If I don't do it with joy, then I don't do it well, I think. So my priorities always spark my joy. So I'm more productive, I'm more calm, I can always focus on myself, like dancing salsa, for example, going to meet my friends, doing yoga. That's a priority that has maybe even more important value creation than any social media post. So
focus on your priorities, on your heart,
on what gives you joy, that keeps you motivated. Don't get lost in the forest. Just take a look, a picture, see what really connects with your heart, and follow through. Thank you for watching. I hope these tips that I'm actually applying with real people and that are working out quite well also work for you. And don't forget to subscribe and share. See you next time. Keeping inspired.